One life ended in fire, another begins in shadows of destiny. Death was supposed to be the end. It wasn't. After a tragic accident, a man awakens to find himself reborn, not as himself, but as a child in a world he thought was fictional. Now, with memories of a life long gone and knowledge of a future written in ink and pain, he lives again as Sakura Haruno. But this Sakura is not content to play the part she's been given. Behind soft smiles and bright eyes lies a quiet force, studying, adapting, and preparing for what's to come. She walks among familiar faces with unfamiliar intentions, subtly altering the path of fate, one whispered word, one hidden seal, one chosen ally at a time. Yet the more she changes, the more the world begins to notice. And not all eyes are friendly. Old powers stir, shadows lengthen, and deep within the heart of the village, something watches, waiting for her next move. She remembers everything. The question is, what will she do with it? Riow Stories. Before we start, if you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe. Now let's get into
Silent
the video.
Bond.
Reincarnated as Sakura Haruno. Prologue. The world through new eyes. Day unknown. Life unknown. Sometimes, I still feel the heat of that fire. It's strange how, even at the end, you can feel the sting of regret as sharp as any flame. I can see it so clearly. The gasoline spilling over, the spark, the explosion of heat that devoured everything. My body, my truck, my life, it all ended right there. I was just doing my job, on the road, delivering goods, living that life I thought would stretch on forever. Now, there's only darkness, the kind that swallows your thoughts and makes you wonder if this is really the end. I was 25, a truck driver, a part-time programmer, and now, well, I guess I was just a guy who didn't make it to the next stop. Funny how things turn out. But this darkness, this void, it's not peaceful. It feels like it's waiting, watching. And deep inside me, a part of me refuses to believe that this is it. This can't be the end. Then, just as the silence stretched too thin, I felt it. A tug, gentle at first, but growing stronger. It's pulling me somewhere, dragging me away from that burning wreckage and into what? I don't know. But if this is what comes after, then I suppose I'll let it carry me wherever it pleases. I was expecting nothing, but instead, I saw light. And then I was born. Day 1, year 0, reborn. When the light broke through, I wasn't in that charred, broken world anymore. I was somewhere new. Everything felt strange, small, fragile. My skin, my limbs, everything was new. Was I a baby? The sounds around me felt so loud, and the warmth surrounding me was so different from the flames that ended my first life. It took me some time to piece it all together. But one day, staring up at a woman who called herself my mother, I realized the truth. I had been reincarnated. My name was Sakura Haruno. Yeah, that's Sakura. The girl with the pink hair and green eyes, useless on the battlefield in that story I used to follow. But that's not going to be my story. No way. I remember everything from before, all of it. My past life, my skills, the plot of this world, and the fact that if I don't change something, I'll be doomed to be that useless girl in the background. Not me. Not in this life. I'm going to rewrite this story, and I'm starting right here. I may be just a child now, but I've got the memories, the knowledge, and the determination to make sure this life counts. I won't be a side character. I won't be weak. So here I am, back at the beginning. I've been given a second chance, and I won't waste it. From this moment on, I'm in control. This is my story. Chapter 1, A Prodigy in Pink, Day 1460, Year 4. Being reborn doesn't make you patient. If anything, it makes waiting worse. I'm 4 years old again, but my mind is still 25. My past life may be behind me, but the urgency I carried never left. I can't afford to waste time, not when I know what's coming. The chakra was disappointing at first. Weak. But I didn't let that stop me. I shifted my focus toward fuinjutsu, steel work. It's delicate, logical, exact. It reminds me of programming, layers of logic, trial and error, and that sweet rush when everything clicks. My reading skills are already beyond most adults. When I showed my parents I could solve arithmetic problems in my head, their stunned silence was priceless. Now I get all the time I want in the local library. They think I'm some prodigy. Let them. The more exceptional they believe I am, the more freedom I get to prepare. But not everyone was impressed. My father cornered me the other day, arms crossed, voice firm. You're not going to hide in books forever, Sakura. Make a friend first. You'll need them more than seals. At first, I was annoyed. Friends? I wasn't here for friendship. I had a mission, but I could tell he was serious. So I went to the park, scanning kids like I was choosing a tool from a belt. And that's when I saw him, Naruto Uzumaki, alone on the swing set, feet dragging lazy circles in the dust. People passed by without even acknowledging him. Worse, some gave him that look. I remembered it from the story. The boy cursed with the nine-tails, shunned before he could speak. I walked up to him and pointed. You're going to be my friend. He blinked up at me, confused. Huh? You heard me. I folded my arms. A moment passed. Then, like the sun breaking through clouds, he grinned. Okay, that was all it took. Day 465, Year 4. Naruto is my first friend. My father looked surprised when I told him. I could feel the unspoken question. Are you sure? But I didn't hesitate. I meant it. Naruto didn't hesitate either. In these few days, we've already become a team. We sprint through the streets, dodge vendors, pull pranks. Okay, he pulls them. I make sure we don't get caught. He laughs like nothing can hurt him, but I know better. I can see it behind his smile, the ache to be seen, to matter. Spending time with him reminded me of what being a child is supposed to feel like. But when night falls and the village sleeps, I return to my real task. Training, my chakra control, my sealing practice, and now something else. I'm a sensor. I can feel chakra like heat from a fire, like pressure in the air. Naruto's presence sharpens that gift. He's loud, bright, impossible to ignore, and somehow that makes me better, stronger. I'm still just a kid on paper, but I'm preparing to change the course of everything. Sakura's Diary. Day 1530, Year 5. Naruto's chakra control is a disaster, but his stamina? Incredible. He pushes until he drops, gets up, and keeps going. I've started training him in basic exercises. He follows my lead with wide eyes and endless energy. His determination is infectious. Even when he fails, he believes he'll improve, and somehow that belief gets under my skin. I'm working harder too, not just fuinjutsu and sensing. Now I'm experimenting with ways to combine them. Skills that respond to chakra pulses, defensive layers that only I can activate. No one else knows what I'm capable of yet. Not my parents. Not even Naruto. That's how it needs to stay. Sakura's Diary, Day 1600, Year 5. We were at the park again, our unofficial headquarters, when Naruto suddenly asked, "Do you think we'll always be friends?" He was staring up the clouds, face unreadable. For once he sounded unsure. I flicked his forehead. Idiot. Of course we will. I didn't go through all this trouble just to ditch you later. He laughed, the tension breaking. Yeah, you're stuck with me, Sakura-chan. He needs these moments, someone to believe in him, someone to say yes without hesitation. I won't let him grow up the way the world wanted him to. Alone, hated, forgotten. That's not his future. Not this time. Day 1640, Year 5. The whispers are getting louder. The whispers are getting louder. People are noticing. They see me walking beside Naruto, laughing with him, training with him. The villagers lower their voices when I pass. Some frown. My parents are quiet, but I can tell what they're thinking. Why him? Because I know who he is. Because he deserves someone in his corner. And because I made a choice, a real one. Not based on plot lines or canon, but on what I've seen with my own eyes. Naruto is worth it. The future isn't written in stone. But if I want to change it, I need more than strength. I need bonds I'm willing to fight for. Chapter 2, Bonds Beyond Blood. Day 1800, Year 6. Father was right about one thing. The more people saw me as a prodigy, the more they watched. Curious glances turned into cautious interest. I could feel it. Whispers that followed my footsteps, assessments I couldn't hear but could sense. Too much attention too early could ruin everything. I needed to get stronger, but I also needed to stay under the radar. That plan fell apart the day I helped an old woman carry her groceries. The village market buzzed with late afternoon energy, stall vendors shouting prices, shinobi passing through for supplies, and villagers loading baskets with fruit and grain. Sakura walked briskly along the path, a stack of scrolls tucked under her arm, until she spotted her. The woman was elderly, slight, with pale eyes that shimmered like glass. Her hands trembled around her paper bags, her back slightly hunched from age. Without thinking, Sakura stepped forward. "Excuse me, ma'am. Need a hand?" The woman turned to her, expression unreadable. A beat passed. Then she gave a small nod. That would be kind of you. They walked in silence for a few minutes. The woman's presence was steady and composed, though her eyes occasionally flicked sideways to study the girl beside her. You're the Haruno girl, aren't you? She asked suddenly. The one they call a prodigy. Sakura offered a polite smile. I guess that's me. The woman snorted faintly. Talent means little without heart. I like to think I have both, Sakura replied. They arrived at the gates of the Hyuga compound. 2 guards straightened as they approached. Then a third figure stepped out, Hiyashi Hyuga. He was a man of stillness and sharp lines, white eyes calculating, shoulders straight, voice clipped. When he saw them, his brow furrowed. Mother, why were you escorted by an outsider? The woman's voice carried quiet steel, because this outsider had the manners to help me when no one else did. Hiyashi's eyes shifted to Sakura, assessing. You're Sakura Haruno, he said. Yes, Hiyashi-sama. He considered her for a moment, then gave a small nod. Then you won't mind a demonstration. Without waiting for agreement, he called over a guard. Bring Neji. I'd heard of Neji Hyuga, gifted, serious, a year older than me, and already mastering the gentle fist. I hadn't planned to spar today, but Hiyashi wasn't asking. Neji arrived, quiet and composed. He gave a short bow, then stepped into position. The moment Hiyashi signaled, he attacked, fast. I dodged, just barely avoiding a palm strike that would have shut down my chakra. He pressed forward with relentless precision, his strikes controlled and dangerous. I couldn't match him in taijutsu, but I didn't need to. As I retreated, I moved my hands quickly, drawing on weeks of fuinjutsu practice. At just the right moment, I dropped a seal at my feet and activated it. A shimmering barrier flared to life between us. Neji blinked. He hadn't expected that. He struck the barrier again. I released it the second before impact and ducked low, sliding beneath his next blow. He adjusted. Smart, focused. We circled. Then I changed tactics. I stopped. He hesitated, just a beat, but it was enough. I launched myself toward him with a burst of chakra, finted left, flipped midair, and planted a sealing tag on his back. Checkmate, I whispered. The immobilization seal flared and locked him in place, just long enough for Hiyashi to call the match. I stepped back, pulse racing. Neji bowed, his voice calm. You are strong. Hiyashi regarded her in silence, arms folded. You have more discipline than most your age, he said. And creativity, that's rare. I try, Sakura replied, keeping her tone respectful. I will remember this. Before she could respond, a small voice called from behind the door. Wait! Hinata Hyuga peeked from behind the frame, her eyes wide and awestruck. That was amazing, she said softly. Sakura smiled. Thanks, I'm Sakura. Hinata, she replied, bowing. Year 6. Hinata's quiet, thoughtful, kind in a way that's rare in this world. We've spent more time together lately, especially when Naruto's off chasing trouble. She's stronger than she thinks, I can feel it. And I've started to wonder, how do I nudge fate just enough to bring her closer to Naruto? Not force it, just help it along. They're perfect for each other, even if they don't know it yet. A seed of confidence. Day 1850, Year 6. Neji and I sparred once. I've been invited back to the Hyuga compound 5 times since. It's not just about impressing them anymore. Hinata and I are becoming real friends. She's shy and uncertain, but there's a quiet courage in her that just needs the right moment to bloom. And of course, Naruto is always around. Somehow, we've become a trio. It's strange how natural it feels. The sun was warm over the park, and the breeze tugged gently at the low-hanging tree branches where Sakura and Naruto sat perched above the grass. Hinata knelt quietly below, her hands folded in her lap, eyes flickering up every now and then, never for long. Naruto tossed a kunai at the trunk of a tree. It bounced off with a dull thunk, missing the target by a full foot. I'm telling you, Sakura-chan, I'm gonna be Hokage someday. Believe it, he declared, puffing up his chest. Sakura smiled behind her book. Maybe start by hitting the target first. He scratched the back of his head, grinning sheepishly. Yeah, that too. Hinata giggled softly. You're doing great, Naruto, she said, just loud enough for him to hear. He turned to her and beamed. Thanks, Hinata. I'll get it eventually. Sakura closed her book, leaning over the branch to look down at Hinata. You know, you should train with him sometime. You'd surprise him. Hinata's face turned bright red. Me? Oh, no, I don't think. Come on, Sakura urged gently. You're stronger than you think, and Naruto could really use a sparring partner who's not a walking disaster." "Hey!" Naruto shouted. Hinata gave a nervous laugh, her eyes darting between them. Naruto perked up. "Actually, that sounds awesome. We could train together, Hinata. You could show me some of those cool Hyuga moves." If Hinata's blush could have deepened, it would have. I'll think about it," she whispered. Hinata wants to say yes. I can feel it. She's scared, but the seed is there. She just needs a little push. At the training grounds, Naruto hurled another kunai into the dirt, groaning loudly. Hinata stood beside Sakura, wringing the hem of her sleeve between her fingers. "Now's your chance," Sakura whispered. "Go spar with him." I don't know if..." Sakura turned and gave her a reassuring smile. "You'll be fine, and he'll love it." Before Hinata could protest, Sakura raised her voice. "Naruto, Hinata wants to spar." Naruto blinked. "She does? That's awesome." Hinata's soul briefly left her body. Still, she stepped forward. The match started tentatively. Naruto charged, clumsy but fast. Hinata moved on instinct, graceful, quick, precise. Her hands flowed like water, deflecting every strike with soft palms and silent footwork. Naruto kept swinging. Hinata kept dodging. It wasn't flashy, but it was impressive. When they finally stopped, Naruto was panting, arms resting on his knees. "Wow, you're amazing, Hinata. I didn't land a single hit." Hinata's face glowed, her voice small. "You were really strong too, Naruto." He grinned at her. "We should do that again." Hinata nodded, still red, but standing taller than she had all day. Sakura's diary. Day 1900, year 7. She's changing, bit by bit. Hinata's still quiet, but her presence is growing. Her chakra is steadier now, more confident. Sparring with Naruto has helped her more than she realizes. And Naruto? He's still completely oblivious to her feelings. But that's okay. They're growing. That's what matters. Watching them makes me feel hopeful, like maybe the future doesn't have to unfold the same way. And if I can help it, even if it's just by nudging a little here and there, I will. For them. For all of us. Chapter 4, Silent Observers. Day 2000, year 7. Being a sensor isn't what I imagined. It's not just detection. It's feeling. Every chakra signature, bright, bitter, buzzing, sits on my skin like static. People think it's power, but most days it's noise. Overwhelming. Constant, invasive. Sometimes I wish I could turn it off, but I can't. So I've learned to listen, to separate the peaceful from the dangerous, the harmless from the ones watching too closely. Because lately, I'm the one being observed. The Hyuga compound was calm, quiet, but beneath that quiet, tension hummed like a string drawn too tight. Hiyashi Hyuga sat beneath a sakura tree in the courtyard, posture perfect, face unreadable. A breeze stirred the sleeves of his robe as he looked up to greet the girl walking toward him. Sakura bowed. "Hiyashi-sama, thank you for the tea invitation." He gestured for her to sit, but his eyes never softened. "You've grown close to my daughter," he said. "Yes, Hinata is different since meeting you." Sakura paused. "I think she's just growing into herself." Hiyashi studied her face, unmoving. "And you've also grown close to Naruto Uzumaki." "I have," she answered simply. Hiyashi set his cup aside. "My daughter's feelings are her own, but the path you're encouraging her down, it isn't easy. You know who that boy is." "I do," Sakura said. "And I know who he's going to be." For the first time, Hiyashi's expression shifted, slightly. "Barely. You speak with certainty, as if you've already seen it." "I haven't," she said, "but I believe in him." She let her senses extend, just slightly. Hiyashi's chakra pulsed beneath his skin, tightly held but heavy with caution. Not hostility, but concern. "You're skilled," he said after a pause. "More than a child should be." "I study," Sakura said with a polite smile. "A lot. Knowledge without discipline is reckless. Power without loyalty is dangerous." A warning. Not veiled, but not aggressive either. Sakura bowed again. "My loyalty lies with the people I care about, and with the village, if the village protects them." Hiyashi watched her quietly, then finally nodded. "Then be careful. Konoha is not kind to those who change its shape too quickly." Sakura left the Hyuga compound with steady steps. On the surface, nothing had changed, but beneath her skin, her chakra buzzed with tension. She knew she was being watched, and not just by Hiyashi. The rooftops above the main street were empty, mostly. From the shadows, Danzo Shimura observed her. He had watched her movements for weeks now. Every step, every expression, every encounter with the Hyuga air, with the Jinchuriki. She was smart, strategic, and too young to be either. Danzo moved silently, descending into the street behind her. Sakura didn't flinch. She'd sensed him the moment he arrived. Danzo-sama, she said evenly. He stepped into view, his lone visible eye glinting like cold steel. You're talented, he said. Too talented. Sakura didn't reply. He took a step forward. You've made interesting friends, aligned yourself carefully. I wonder, is that your doing or someone else's? She held his gaze. Does it matter? It matters to me. His chakra pressed against hers, calculated, oppressive, testing. Potential without guidance can become a threat, Danzo said. You may believe you're helping this village, but sentiment often leads to mistakes. Sakura's voice was calm. I'll take that risk. Danzo's gaze lingered for a moment longer. Then he turned away. Be careful, Sakura Haruno. You're not as hidden as you think. Sakura's diary. Day 2005, year 7. Hiyashi is watching me. Danzo is watching me. Even the Hokage has started asking questions through the academy instructors. They can feel it, the shift. I used to worry about being noticed too soon. Now I know it's unavoidable. All I can do is be ready. I can't fight them head on. Not yet, but I can outthink them. Stay 3 steps ahead. This is the part of the game where mistakes are fatal, so I won't make any. That's the end of it for now. Hope you enjoyed. Riow out.